Professor Dr. S. Gauri is the Director of EMRC of UGC and also Professor in the Department of Manufacturing Engineering, Anna University. He is the recipient of the National Award for Outstanding Academic 2011, honored by the Indian Society of Technical Education, New Delhi in 2012. He has previously been the Registrar of Anna University of Technology, Chennai. He received BE in Mechanical Engineering from Tyagarajar College of Engineering, Madurai, MTech in Production Engineering and PhD in Precision Machining in IIT Madras. He was awarded for his PG project work in IIT Madras. His main areas of interest are technical education system development, precision machining, rapid prototyping, FEA, biomedical engineering, medical image analysis, and shape memory alloys. He is a life member of ISTE, AMM, and SME of USA. He has been awarded with fellowships of research work done in surface engineering by NSF USA in 1992 and by NSTB Singapore in 1997 to 1999. He is a visiting faculty in India and abroad in many colleges and universities, including Nanyang Technological University, Singapore, Technical University, Weingarten, Stuttgart, Germany, and taught nanotechnology. He has traveled many countries, including Germany, UK, USA, Netherlands, Singapore, Spain, Switzerland, Malaysia, Brunei, and Australia for his academic works. In addition, he got international travel fellowships from UGC, AICTE, CSIR, and DST. He has successfully completed several projects in India and abroad. He has offered technical consultations in India and abroad to MNCs such as Sony of Japan, Pratt & Whitney of USA, GE of Singapore, iGel of Australia, and also to Railways Coach Factory, Chennai. He was a member of the Technical Expert Committee selected by DST to participate in the Indo-UK Manufacturing Engineering Colloquium held in January 2012. He headed the International Joint Project on Virtual Laboratories on Mechatronics, a real-time web-based project with partners from Julius Maximilian University, Würzburg, Germany, and the University of Madrid, Spain in 2005. He is holding an international patent for the work done in micromachining during his tenure in Singapore. He is a member and director of several Tamil Nadu government advisory boards.
In this lecture, we will study about the method called modified distribution method, shortly known as MODI method. And what are stepping stones, dual variables, what are squares, etc.
Now, we will switch over to the MODI method in order to get the optimal value or the optimal solution. So, this is a solution we have obtained by northwest corner rule. It is clear it is not optimal. In the northwest corner rule, the number of occupied cells are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That is nothing but m plus n minus 1. M is the number of rows 5, n is the number of columns 6, 5 plus 6, 11 minus 1, 10, you have got it. If you are getting less than the required m plus n minus 1, that is a case of degeneracy. The degeneracy means the problem is unable to generate the required number of basic solutions. Here, how many possible solutions are there? How many variables here? 30 variables. Out of 30 variables, only 10 variables become above 0. Remaining all 20 variables are equal to 0. That is the meaning. If no allocation is made, what is happening? X12 0, X13 0, X14 0 0. Only X11 is 40. X21 is 10, X22 is 30, X32 is 45, like that you have to say. We will take only these occupied cells, and with that occupied cells we will rewrite the table, put cross marks in all the empty cells, or instead of putting 0 value I have put cross mark. I am not going to consider the cost of them, only this cost are to be considered. The cost of transportation of 10, 19, 25, 20, these are going to be considered here. The cost is Cij, that is cost of transporting one unit from ith factory to the jth warehouse is C, and this is written in its equivalent form as Ui plus Vj, where Ui is for row Vj is for column. That means I will write here the first row u1, second row u2, third row u3, fourth row u4, fifth row u5. Similarly, here v1, v2, v3, v4, v5 and v6. Like that we have written, we have splitted them into equivalent cast, that is the meaning. It is splitted into equivalent cast, a component for row and component for column. So, how many are here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. There are 11 unknowns. And how many allocations are here? 10. So, if there are 11, it is okay, we will be able to get the values. Otherwise, we do not know, we assume any one of them, either u or v, either u1 or u2 or u3 or u4 or u5 or v1 or v2, v3, v4 give some value, some assume. And based on the assumed value, how the other values are calculated or varying, that we have to compute. Now, assume any one of the 11 variables, 11 casts components equal to some value, some positive or negative or any value which will find it easy for addition subtraction. Which value you will find easy for addition subtraction? Only one, or it can be even 0 also. It can be even 0, nothing wrong in 1. So, which one you want to assume? 0, u1 or u2 or u3 or v4 or v1, v2? u1, very good. So, u1, any one, nothing wrong. So, say u1 equal to, you can assume any value, not a problem. I find if I assume 0, it is easy to add or subtract that. So, you can put even 5579, you can put nothing wrong, only have to spend a lot of time for that, because based on the assumption how the other values are getting the values. When you put u1 is 0, that means C11 is equal to u1 plus v1. u1 I have put 0. What is C11? 10 plus v1. So, what is v1? 10. So, v1 is 10. Okay. Next, 19 equal to u2 plus 10. So, what is u2? 19 minus 10, that will become 9. Now, 25 is equal to 9 plus v2. So, what is v2? 25 minus 9, 16. Now, 20 is equal to u3 plus 16. What is u3? 20 minus 16, it is 4. Now, 15 is equal to 4 plus v3. What is v3? 11. Then 17 is equal to 4 plus v4. So, what is v4? Ashwin, how you calculate? Very good. So, 17 minus 4. Then 19 is equal to u4 plus 13. So, what is u4? 6. Very good. Then what else you can calculate? Now, you have to tell me. u5 can you calculate? Yes. Very good. Then what is this value u5? 10 is equal to u5 plus 13. Minus 3. What more you can calculate? v5. 21 equal to v5 plus minus 3. So, 24. 21 minus of minus 3, 21 plus 3 is equal to 24. 29 minus of minus 3 calculated. All the values of u and b. If you have put 1, naturally this will be, instead of 0, if you had assumed u equal to 1, u1 equal to 1, 9, that is all. So, according to that the distribution will be changed. Now, what I have done is, I have considered only the cost involved with the occupied cells, allocated cells, and that cost is splitted row wise and column wise with the assumption u1 is 0, because the number of variables are 11 we got only 10 allocations. So, any one of them should be assigned with some value, that is for the purpose of easy computation we have put that is 0. Clear? This is the one, nothing else you have done it, because this gives a sort of a starting solution. Now, in the next stage I am going to combine this u and v. If we combine u and v, what will you get? C, yeah, natural, because from C only we got it, but how we got from C? Only for the occupied cells, but the same u and v, sum it up, for example, u 3, 4 and 10, that may be the cost here like that, that is called equivalent cost. Actually that cells has a original cost and no allocation has been made either here or here, the remaining all cells no allocation, the remaining 20 cells no allocations have been made, because that technique what we adopted says they are not best feasible allocation, but truly it is not acceptable, because that is a limitation of the technique northwest. Similarly, if you go to the Vogel's approximation of the least cost method, you will also get instead of 10 you got 8 or 9 allocations, the remaining all 21 or 22 cells remain vacant, not allocated, because according to that technique those costs are considered to be a higher cost of transportation, which may not give a better or best feasible solution. But still we cannot accept it, we can accept them if the Modi method ensures whether that is optimal or not, that we are in the process of confirming whether the solution is optimal or not. Okay. So, in the next stage what I am going to do is, I am going to check whether the technique has given an acceptable fact that these costs involved here, the remaining all 20 cells are higher or cannot improve, that I am going to ensure it. How to find it? Again sum it up u and v. For example, if I want an equivalent cost here like ui plus vj is equal to Cij for empty cells. Please note this is for empty cells and this is for occupied cells. And in some books, some mathematicians used to say in a different way, these cells are called stones, S-T-O-N-E, stones, and these empty cells are water squares. And when we do redistribution, sometimes some of them instead of 40, 30 may be kept here, the 10 may be kept here or somewhere here like that. It means the stone is taken and put in water. So, the weight will be less, something like that. So, that is a sort of a philosophy or definition. Anyway, here we can use the term occupied cells and empty cells. Now, these are all remaining empty cells, because that technique says the cost involved. If you transport to that particular with that cost, the cost may shoot up, that is a technique limitation. Now, I am going to write Vi plus Vj Cij for all the empty cells. That means, I will not write down this one, I will write wherever I put the cross marks, I am going to write the cost. Why I have put cross mark? I can write. If I write it, what I will get? Get the same given value, the same original given Cij. If I write for example here, the original cost will be there 9, something like that. So, it is a repetition, no use at all. Why I am writing is, I want to check whether any of the empty cells can give some improvement, whether allocations can be made, that is I am going to check. Using that value, so formula ui plus Vj equal to Cij, here 10 plus minus 3, 7, 13, 8, 16, 22, 17, 30, correct, 38, very good. Yeah. Here 14, 24 plus 28, 32 plus 4, 36. Here 9 plus 11, 20, 22, 33, 41. here 16, 11, 13, 24, 32. That is all. This is called UI plus Vj matrix for empty cells. But for the empty cell there are original costs. Now I will compare. These costs are based on the U and V. How we got U and V? That is the best feasible solution. So, that is a cost considered an equivalent cost, a better cost than the given. And now I am going to compare this cost with the original cost, whether both are equal or different. For example, what is the original cost? C 1 2 given 15. What is the original cost? C 1 3 20, C 1 4 17, C 1 5 14, C 1 6 12. C 1 2 original cost is 15, the equivalent cost is 16. Here it is 20, equivalent cost is 11, original cost is 20. And here it is 17, here it is 13, here it is 14, here it is 24, here it is 12, here it is 32. From this, if I put in a mathematical way, put Dij is equal to Cij minus of Vij for empty cells. A sort of a comparison, no? Which is bigger, which is smaller. If you put some sort of an equation, you can easily find whether it is plus or minus, they are like that. For example, D12, D12, what is the original cost? This is given. This is a given cost, this is computed. What is the original cost? C12, 15. What is our here? 16 is equal to minus 1. Then D13, 20 minus 11, 9, D14, 4, D15, D16 are minus 10 and minus 20. These two are plus, plus means what? The original cost is 20, equivalent cost is 11. The original cost is higher than the equivalent cost, that is based on the northwest corner rule allocation. So, from the allocated cell we found out the equivalent cost, and with the equivalent cost when we check, we find that that is smaller, original cost is larger. Here also this is larger, this is smaller got. That means, why no allocation was made there? Because that cost is higher than the equivalent cost. The equivalent cost is from the starting solution. So, the starting solution what you have made according to this is acceptable, because the original cost itself is 20 and 17, which are higher than 11 and 13. So, nothing to worry about that empty cell. The fellow is empty because he is no way useful. But whereas come here, the original cost is 15, but the equivalent cost is 16. So, original given cost is 15, smaller than that. We have not made any allocation because that is a limitation of the technique. That is why we want to go for Modi method. That means, there is a chance of improvement. There is a chance of improvement because the original cost itself is smaller than the cost, equivalent cost for the same cell, empty cell. Then you should have made some allocation there. Why have not done? We selected northwest. We did not bother about the cost value or anything. We just geometric location, the direction value, northwest, northwest, irrespective of the cost, we give importance for the position, which is not acceptable. Like that you come here, this is 14 and 24, this is much smaller. Why you forgot? The fellow is very promising you, go and pick the fellow. Like that this is, and you come to this fellow is still better, the difference is. So, you can allocate something more because that is still smaller than this, much smaller. So, from this what we can say is, when you find out the Dij values like this, whichever is a negative, identify among the negative, pick out the most negative. We pick out the most negative and do reallocation there. The fellow is having empty bucket or basket or something, put something, he will transport at the cheaper cost, yes or no. So, that is the meaning of this Dij, Cij minus Ui plus Vj, here is minus 1, minus 10, minus 20. The most promising cell is this one D16 according to the consideration of the first row cells. Like that you find out the Cij, Dij matrix, Dij is equal to Cij minus Ui plus Vj for all the empty cell or occupied cell. What will you get if you find out for occupied cell? Very good, you will get only 0, because you splitted that fellow, again you are going to compare, you will find no difference at all. Rewrite the Dij matrix for all the empty cells. Write down for all this. So, let me write it, the Dij, what is the Ui plus Vj here? What is the Cij? 15. So, 15 minus 16 is equal to minus 1. Here 20 minus 11 equal to 9. Like that, you please calculate and tell me. Minus 1, minus 1, minus 20, minus 18, 7, 6, 8. Fourth row, this one, minus 1. Please ensure all of you got this. Most negative Dij, most negative is minus 23. Which cell? D26. Most negative Dij is minus 23. This is smallest value actually. Value wise is smallest, but I use the word most negative. Why? There is a largest difference, that is all. Instead of putting Cij minus Ui plus Vj, you put back in the other way. Ui plus Vj minus Cij, in some books you may find like that. Then you will get these are all positive, the remaining are negative. So, you have to pick out the most positive, go on do that until all you get negative. But here I don't want to say go towards negative and say optimal. Instead of that, start from negative, go towards positive, say optimal. That is optimistic, I think. That is why I always select this is start from negative, and once you get all the cells either 0 or positive, it indicates optimal. Now, we got negative, no? If all the Dij, Cij minus Uij, this is original cost and this cost, when you compare, if both are equal, or when this cost is larger, this is smaller, you get everything positive, or when both are equal, 0. When you get it, there is no chance of improvement. The solution itself, what you got is optimal. Now, it clearly indicates that now also we know that, because we have done the problem with the other two techniques. The other two techniques have given an improvement in that. This is a worst solution among the basic feasible solution. This gives a worst solution. So, you have to move limp from one step to other step, other step to other step, we have to reach. Sometimes if you have selected from Vogel's or least cost, and if you go to that, sometimes you may get that solution itself optimal, or in 1 or 2 iterations you will get optimal. Here we have to go for number of iterations. Why I am doing is in order to have the practice. So, I am going to select this one, cell 26 is selected, this is selected. Selected means this is empty or occupied? Empty. That is why now we are doing all the operation for empty cells. No? This is empty, the fellow is not having anything. Now, I am going to give him something. He is promising that, he is showing that I can transport at a cheaper cost. Okay, let us give some units, see how the fellow is going to transport. The question is how much we should give. Can you arbitrarily put, okay, you are a nice fellow, give some, take some 20 units. Can I put some 20 here? Or he may say, sir, I want to give him 30, he is most promising. And the other fellows who are sleeping there suddenly says 100. Can you do like that? Yes or no? No. Very good. Then how to do that? See, if I just put 20, 30, 40 like that, what will happen? What is the supply from here? 40. Put 10, 40 plus 10 will become 50. Or if I put something 10 here, the demand will increase without considering anything. because the fellow is promising, give him some work, give him some units, we cannot arbitrarily give. The rim conditions are violated. So, the rim condition should not be violated means, if this is 40, what is the demand? 40. So, if I add something, that should be within 40 itself, within 40 itself. So, if I give something in the same row, whatever you give, that should be removed. If I add 10, the 10 should be removed from any of the occupied cells. You cannot, can you take from these fellows? No, they are empty, they are nothing, poor fellows. Only you can take either from here or from here, 10. Then only if I take add plus 10, the plus 10 can be subtracted either minus 5 or minus 10 or minus 10 here. Similarly, when I add 10, the 10 should be subtracted from here, only one fellow is there, remaining all poor fellows, only this fellow is having. So, from him you can take the 10, then only plus 10 minus 10 same, plus 10 minus 10 same, like that. Now, the question is, how many units this fellow should be given, how many units we can allocate to this occupied cell, and from where we can take out, from whose pocket we can take, who are having the units, the funds, something like that. For that, a sort of a rule is to be followed. How? Now, you select, put x, x is the number of units going to be given to the empty cell. When you do this, follow a rule. We can take here or here. When you take here, the same thing should be added here. When you add something, the same thing should be subtracted. If you subtract something, same thing should be added here, like that. So, how to do that means, a sort of a loop, closed circle of successive vertical and horizontal lines starting from here and ending here. And when you make a loop, the turning point of the loop, the corners should be in occupied cells, any of the occupied cells, the corner points, then only we can make the transaction. For example, you start from here, can I go up? No, empty bowl, you can't give anything, you can't take anything, and come down. Then you cannot go out on the table, you can make a left turn. When I make a left here, you have to go, you can go here or go up. If I go up, all are empty bowls. So, you can go here. So, from here you can come. From here, can we go further? No, empty. So, we can go up. When I go up, here if you want to make a turn, we can make either left or right, all are empty. Only thing further you can go up. When I go up, can you make a right turn? No, empty. You have to make a left. When I make a left, can I go up and come down or up or down? No, because they are all empty, they are all empty. Come further. Here you cannot go further here. Only thing you can go up, we cannot come down because these are all empty. When you go up to this. Now, I come up to this. Now, go up. If I go, it is okay, then make turn. From here, where to go? Nothing. But from here, we can come, we are closing the loop. Like this. So, like that, a loop will be possible. Sometimes maybe one loop is also possible. Clear or not? Identify the most negative, from there starting loop, either go up or down or left or right, having the turning points or the corners at the occupied cells where we can make the transaction, like this. You are adding something here. What is here? 40. For example, you have put 40 plus x, the same x should be subtracted, then only the rim condition will not be violated. So, it is minus. What is the demand? What is the supply here? 150. From 150 you have subtracted x, have taken x units, and the same x should be added here. Otherwise, 150 minus x will be there. So, plus. You have added something, the same thing should be minus. Subtracted, same thing should be plus x. plus, it is a minus x, minus, it is plus x. Clear? Yeah, you will finally end up with that automatically sign. So, whatever be that x is added, subtracted, added, subtracted, added, subtracted, added like that. This is a sort of a closed loop. Clear? Now, at this stage I want to remind you one thing. In the beginning of the starting this method, we have checked how many allocations are there. The number of allocations are m plus n minus 1. 5 rows plus 6 columns minus 1, that is equal to 10. You got it, 10 allocations. Why you have not gone to the other techniques where you got number of allocations are less than m plus n minus 1, like instead of 10 they were 9 and 8. If you had started with that 9 and 8, you won't be able to get the value of all the u and v what you have calculated in the previous stage. In order to get all the values of u and v, we had to get the number of allocations m plus n minus 1, but we are running short of that. So, necessarily we should have put some quantity in those cells if you had selected the Vogel's approximation or least cost method, where the number of allocations are less than m plus n minus 1. Or the other way, if there is a degeneracy, we have to compensate the degeneracy. What is the shortage level? Instead of 11 or instead of 10, you have got 9, 1 is short. Instead of 10, you got 8, 2 is short. So, for the 2 cells or the 1 cell, you should have made a occupied cell by putting some quantity, then only you should have put that value. Anyway, that will come to the next stage. I think sometimes we will be going towards optimality, automatically degeneracy may appear. Now, we know this fellow is ready to give, ready to take, ready to give, ready to take, ready to give, like this. What is the value of x? The x is a value, nothing but x is a quantity, x is a number of units to be allocated to the empty cell. I am going to put x. From where can I take the x? Here or here or here. From there we can take the x quantities. What is the quantity already allocated here? 40. Here how many units? 1 5, very good. Here 30. Why I am writing the values, the number of units, from there we are going to take. When you take, do not leave anything, try to loot the maximum possible, try to grab the maximum possible, try to transport the maximum possible. 40, 15, 30. How much can you take? How many have you say 40? Please raise your hands. They are very ambitious. I want to transport the maximum possible. Good. How many said 15? Only 2. What about the remaining? The cell is having 40. If you taken 40, you have put 40 here. This become occupied cell. This become empty cell. Very good. Empty cell. And from here, 40 is added here. So, rim condition is satisfied. When here 15 is the fellow is having 15 rupees, you ask him, give me 40 rupees. What will you say? Can he give? He is having only 15 rupees. You cannot ask him to give 40. So, you can take only among them 30, 15 and 40, whichever be the smallest, only that many units we can take. Minimum of x is, this is from 30, 15 and 40. So, 15 is going to be allocated there. It means, here we are going to allocate 15 units and 40 out of 40 minus 15, 25 will be here. Here how many units are there? 15. With the 15, another 15 become 30, this become empty cell, this become another 15, this become 30 minus 15, 15, and here it is empty cell will become occupied cell with the 15. So, that is a redistribution, modified distribution. Clear? So, this become occupied cell, this become empty cell. The next stage, with the redistributed values, we should check whether that is optimal. How will you check? Again, find out the ui Cij equal to ui plus Vj for empty cell, because now this has become empty. this has become occupied. So, the ui plus variations will be there. You put again ui plus vj matrix and find out the ui plus vj for the empty cells, then find out the dij matrix for empty cells, check whether all the dij are 0 or positive. Still if you get negative, I am sure you will get, and the most negative is promising one, put x value there and do that until you get all the dij. After every redistribution, you should check whether all the dij become either 0 or positive. So, when you get all the dij 0 or positive, you can stop.
At the end, let me summarize what we have discussed. Modi method is carried out starting with the best feasible solution obtained from any of the three methods already discussed. From the allocated cell, the row and column are added with new variables called dual variables, that is u subscript I and v subscript j, where u is for rows and v is for column. Assuming that there are I number of rows and j number of columns, which will form a linear equation called C subscript I j is equal to u subscript I plus v subscript j. That means cost of the allocated cells, the unit cost of allocated cell is split into two variable costs, like one is row cost, other is a column cost known as ui and vj. From this, the optimality is checked, and if the solution is not optimal, allocations are redistributed until the optimality is reached. Let me remind you with some questions. Question number 1, how are dual variables computed? Question number 2, what is meant by evaluation matrix? Question number 3, how can transportation technique be used for maximization problem? When you say the technique is for minimization, how will you, after making some adjustments or corrections or modifications, how will you make use of the same method to maximize?